shoot, it's us against the world. We know how good we are as a defense, and shoot, for us to do that, it only boosts our confidence up.
With no hutch, what was the attitude of everybody on this team in terms of what you felt like you had to do without 97?
Everybody had to step up. Each player has a role. Without Hutch, losing a big piece like that, everybody had to step up.
How about that interception you had? Talk me through what you saw on that play.
It was a great call by AG. Was actually in like a two-man, and I let the other Speedo go, and I showed the post, so I guess he thought we was in like some cover one, and I was able to jump it when he came.
Did you almost over-jump it?
Yeah, I came down two. At first I thought he was gonna overthrow it, but I'm glad he threw it like that.
This is such your brand of ball. You know when it's coming. You're ready to scoop and return. But I feel like people are just getting to know you on a national level. It's, oh my God, Brian Branch has made this play. But this feels central to your brand. You've always been playing like this. So what do you have to say to people who are just figuring out who you are?
Shoot, get ready. I feel like I'm back in high school.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You said backs against the wall. This was like a win of persistence. Was it something you guys said to each other, or just talk me through that?
We knew, coming to this game, nobody has really challenged Minnesota, and that speaks a lot. A team doesn't get challenged throughout the season. They don't know, they don't know how to take, or like when they're back against the wall, they don't know how to really like come back from that. And I feel like that's what separated us from them.
Without Hutchinson in there, how were you guys able to get a little bit of pressure?
Shoot, Levi, Josh, Aline, on the D-line, everybody stepped up. And shoot, James came in there and played big today. We blitzed more this game. Shoot, that's how everybody stepped up.
Brian, you go down 10 early, and then obviously the fumble late, and you guys got to get a stop. Is there ever like any sense of panic that creeps in? Or
nah, we knew we was beating ourselves up, and it's like that. We still have the confidence. Whenever we beating ourselves up, we know that we got to fix it, and shoot, they not better than us.
And Dan talked about during the week that Minnesota jumped on a lot of teams. Is that something he emphasized to you guys as well?
Oh yes, sir. All week, every game really Minnesota has came out and up 14-0, 21-0, 21-7. And for us to really challenge them, that's what he preached about us, is challenging them.
So when you're down 10-0, what is said on the sideline? What is said among guys on the bench as far as the game is not out of reach against someone else?
Oh, just don't panic and play our brand of football. We know our standard, and when we're not playing to our standard, we all just got to shoot. Don't panic, really.
Did that also happen after they got the scoop and score?
Oh yeah. We knew. Shoot, there's still a lot of time left. It's a lot of time left, so we all got to stay with each other and just keep on going.
Yeah, it just speaks to a lot of to the core of this team, able to come out and finish out a game like that, especially we started about as bad as we possibly could. We just kept our composure. That's something we talked about. We knew that it wasn't going to be perfect. We know that's a good football team on the other side, so they're going to make their plays too. But we just keep our composure, trust our game plan. Huge to be able to come out like that.
I feel like you've just been through it before. When you have a rough start like that, you're just going to settle down.
Yeah, like I said, we know things are going to happen, and we have our plays that we want to run early in the game, but we also know the defense will dial things up. That's a complicated scheme to play against. So I think once we just kind of got settled down and just kind of trusted what we were seeing, we were fine. But, credit to them, they came out and they played well initially. So it's not always going to be perfect. We've seen that this year offensively. But when we need to make the plays, we made the plays.
We'll talk about that. When you get that ball back after they get a 3-and-out on defense and you're down by 1, what's the attitude of this offense going out there?
Win the game. Go win the game. That's what Coach Farley was saying out there. That's what Ben's saying out there. That's what Dan said. Hey, guys, go win the game. Go win the game for us.
Hey, you've been through a lot. 5-1 and 5-1 last 2 years. That hasn't happened since 1934. What's that say about what you're building here?
That it's genuine, and hopefully it's built to last. I think we've built the foundation the right way, got the right people in here, so it can be sustainable.
From your perspective, what was key to making those first half adjustments instead of waiting to get back to the locker room?
I think it was just kind of settling in and trusting our eyes, because like I said, we knew coming in that this was a complicated defense to play against, and we do our best with our scout team to try and get those looks, but of course they're going to be better at running it than what we're going to be able to see in practice. So, just kind of settling down, trusting your rules, and trusting your eyes out there on the field, and then just really our goal was to go out there and get the first down, and then we thought we could start rolling.
And then Kay obviously getting the start, a tall pass in front of him too, but how do you think he fared throughout the game?
Can you repeat that? I didn't hear the first part.
With Kay getting the start in Zeitler's place,
Yeah.
How do you think he fared throughout the game? Obviously a tall task as well.
He's awesome. There's a reason we keep him around here. I mean, he played the NFC Championship game next to me, and I've got to play next to him a bunch of times. So the guy's a baller. He does things the right way, and he's always ready to go.
It was a lot of fun. Come to Minnesota, one of my favorite places to play. Just the division game, the stadium I think is awesome. The fans, it's loud, so I love playing here. But it was a tough game for us, back and forth. But we found a way to come out on top.
Mindset when you get that ball with just over 2 minutes to go, knowing you need to get down there, and if you get anything, you're going to win this game.
Yeah, I think mindset for us is, trying to leave no time on the clock when we score. So whether it's a touchdown or a field goal, we want to leave as little, of time left for the Vikings to try to go down and score. We knew they had no timeouts, so had a few explosive plays and kind of got to like the 40-yard line. I had that catch. I think once I made that catch and we were in good field goal range for our kicker, who has a big leg, we know he can hit it from far. But once he got in that range, I think we kind of just said, let's take a knee now. They have no timeouts. Try to run the clock down as much as we can, give our kicker a chance to make it, which he did. And I think they had like 15 seconds or so left to try to win it with no timeouts. That's pretty tough to do in this league.
How big is it for Jake to send that one through?
Huge. I mean, I think obviously big for the win and everything, but I think bigger than that is for him as a kicker. I know in this league it can be tough, especially as a rookie. He hasn't had too much, tape to show or stuff to back up what he can do. And this kick is just going to propel him, I think, throughout the year. Whether he misses or makes, the confidence that this kick is going to give him is going to be huge for him, huge for us as a team. Because we always knew he can make those kicks, but now it's like, all right, let's go put him in at 60 yards. Let's go give him a shot. He can make that too.
And that touchdown that you had, talk us through it. Looked like Jared just dropped one right on you.
Yeah, we knew. We knew if he had that look all week in practice, we said we're gonna call and run it. And he gave the thumbs up, saying we're good. So I knew it was coming. And Jared, he set his feet, whatever he did back there in the pocket, his magic, threw a great ball. And when I saw it in there, I was like, it was a little bit in the sun, but I had to make the catch, so I made it.
Rob, that's what about Flores' defense and just how difficult it is. You have thrived in your 3 matchups against it. So what is it about your skill set, the way you see the field, that's helped you had success? You've had the success you've had against this defense.
Yeah, I think they run a lot of different stuff. That defense, one of the most exotic defenses that I feel like we'll face all year, and we knew that coming into it. But more than that, is they run a lot of zone, a lot of different type of zone coverages, and we knew that coming into it. And I feel like zone coverage, obviously Ben does a great job of scheming things up to get us open in zone, but I feel like I'm able to see coverage pretty well when I'm out there, talking to Jared and the quarterbacks and trying to understand why he's getting to certain plays and certain looks, why he's killing it, why he's audible and things like that. So trying to understand everything, and then once I do that, it's just helps me play that much faster and really understand why we're getting to certain plays and where the holes should be if they're in the coverage that we're expecting. So just things like that to help me play fast.
You talk all the time about the receiver blocking, and this unit, but I think this might have been the most complete game from all your guys. Tim had one, you had one, J-Mo had one, Gibbs, not a receiver, but he had one. Just when everybody's blocking like that on the perimeter, is this the example of how much that can help the entire offense?
Yeah, I think the perimeter blocks is what makes those 6, 7, 8, 9-yard runs into 15, 20, and then 40-plus yard runs like Jahmyr had. So if we can stay on our guys, sustain blocks as much as we can on the perimeter, I would say the hardest part for us sometimes is knowing who to block. That can be the toughest part, because once we know who to block, I feel like all of our guys in our room are willing blockers, tight ends, great blockers. Everyone that we have are willing blockers, and I think that's the biggest thing is you got to want to block. It's not, can you block, can he not? Is he wanting to block? Does he want to put his head in there? And we have all guys in our room that are willing to do that. So I think that's really what separates us.
Man, that was a gritty win. I feel like that was the definition of a division game. We had to get a tough win on the road, and I'm just thankful that the offense did their thing and the defense as well, and we had a complete team win.
What was the attitude of that defensive line, your room without Hutch?
Just to go out there and play physical. That they're wasn't going to be any slack. We had to step up everybody individually, and I feel like we did that today. Of course, there's always things that we can do better, but I'm proud of everybody in that room.
Every play mattered, and to hold them to those 2 field goals in the fourth quarter was huge. Just your thoughts on keeping them out of the end zone.
Yeah, that's important. Red zone percentage and making sure that we're not letting up any touchdowns. And I feel like the defense did a great job of making sure that they didn't get in the end zone in that instance. So
they had you back on your heels a little bit early in this game. What's it say about this team that they didn't blink?
Yeah, for sure. We are a resilient team. If they come out fast, then we're going to adjust. And this is a full-quarter game, and I feel like we have a strong full-quarter team.
How much fun is it to play in a game like that?
Man, it was so fun. It was a gritty game of a long 4 quarters, and it was a really physical game, too. Man, it was so fun out there.
We wasn't really worried about it. I mean, we knew defense was going to get stopped late, and we was going to go score or whatever we needed to do.
We know how close you and David are. Do you say anything to him after that fumble, just picking him up or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I told him he was good. Same thing happened to me last year. He was there for me, so I'm going to be there for him.
Can you just kind of put a weight on this game? Coach said it wasn't a must-win, but it's about as big as it gets.
Yeah.
The way you guys fought for this one and how you guys played against this team, what does it say?
It was a really big win, first division win. Now we're in first, it's just a really important game. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah.
For you guys to put your offense, though, up on the field against one of the best scoring or the best scoring defense in the league, what did you learn about yourselves, if anything?
I mean, nothing that we didn't already know. Great offense. We have a great OC, great offensive coaching staff around us, so we listen to them. If we're all communicating on the same page, it's going to be hard for defense to stop us. So.
Ben Johnson talks a lot, obviously, about being explosive, being detailed, being physical. You guys were all of that today. Your touchdown run, the long one in particular, can you just kind of take us through that, how that came about?
Yeah, just had a wide zone to the right. There's really nothing I had to do for it until I got to the third level. So, Panay had a great block. He sealed the edge. Saint had a great block on the linebacker, opened up a huge hole. TP was outside blocking the corner, and I just had to do the rest. So.
Was that the bring the boom celebration today?
Yeah, me, Jack, and Hogan talk about that a lot.
So is that only a game winner type of celebration, or?
We're probably going to keep the celebrations to a minimum. Try to stay cool through the whole game, so probably keep that as a one-time deal. But
when did you realize that the game was going to come down to your foot? And I guess just how do you mentally prepare for that kind of moment?
I don't know. Start looking at the clock, start kind of adding up points. We were up 5, I think. Like if they go down and score here, then they're up 1 or possibly 3 if they go for 2 or whatever. And so you think, I'm gonna have to stay ready just in case my number's called. And then kind of staying calm. I think, I put so much faith in the Lord that He's gonna provide. And He's provided so many things beyond what I ever expected. And so, just having faith in that and knowing who I am and knowing who God says I am, and rather than, what the world says I am, and just kind of having that perspective. And I think that really helps me remain calm through adversity, good and bad times and all the things.
You made winning kicks before, but not in this situation with that crowd in the first place on the line. Did you feel it at all when you went out on the field, the weight of what was about to happen?
It was definitely loud, definitely the loudest, environment I've ever kicked in. But at the end of the day, it's doing the same job that, I prayed for so long and I've worked so hard for. And so, if you let that get too big, then the moment's probably going to get too big for you. So kind of just, telling myself to stay calm, reciting my favorite Bible verse, which is Hebrews 12:1, helps me stay calm as well. So, just doing those things to keep my head in a good space and then go out there and do my job. And I know, with Hogan and Jack, they're both unbelievable at what they do as far as snapping and holding. And so just having so much confidence that the ball's going to be right where I want it every single time. And so, that makes me have a lot of calmness and a lot of confidence going into something like that.
What does it do for you going forward? Just talk about having the confidence before, but you had to ice a game like this, conference game, conference win.
I think it gets the team another win, which is ultimately what we came here to do. And so I'm really happy to have contributed to that in any way that I was able to. And obviously tonight, it came down to that last kick. But, it's not going to change too much. I'm still going to go home and be the same person and, show up and work and try to make every kick like I did before that. It's just, I think just staying calm and remaining the same person throughout everything, whether it's good or bad, is where I found that, leads me to where I need to be.
Does moments like this help you appreciate your journey and how much more you have to take? Obviously, now traditional path to get here, does this make you appreciate that journey?
Absolutely, man. 18 months ago, I thought I was done with football. I was working as a brick salesman in Houston. I thought the dream was dead. It also makes me look back and think of how good the Lord's been in my life and the doors He's opened and closed for me to lead me here and to lead me in such a great situation with this coaching staff and this front office and these teammates. It's definitely something that's like I couldn't even have dreamt of this. Like this moment is so cool, and I'm taking it in stride and I'm having fun with it.
What are you working at specifically?
Acme Brick.
What was it called?
Acme Brick, ACME, in Houston.
A brick sale?
Yeah.
What you said?
Yeah.
Brick sale.
Yeah, I hadn't made it past I was a full worker there, but I hadn't started, I hadn't had, my clients or whatever. I was still doing training, kind of, so, ride-alongs and stuff like that. But, yeah, I was training to be a brick salesman. Thought football was done, so I thought I had to move on with my life and do something else. But luckily, the Lord had something else in store.
You don't miss that job?
I think I have the best job in the entire world, so, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
You got a game ball?
I do, yeah. Right here.
What did they say when they gave it to you?
I don't really remember. Coach Campbell started saying something, and then everyone started cheering, and I started smiling, and I couldn't really see because I get squinty. But, it's so cool. That locker room is fired up for another win, and, we're ready to go back to work and get ready for Tennessee.